What's up guys, it's James here from Smoking UK, where we review, communicate and educate all things cigars. Today you join us on Pipe Tobacco Tuesdays, where we review and talk about some of the best pipes and pipe tobaccos from around the world right here on the channel for you. This week we're touching on an important topic, and because it's normally a tool not a lot of people know how to use, they think it's relevant or don't even own one, which is crazy. And of course I'm talking about our trusty old pipe tool. Now, before I start diving into this particular pipe tool, it's important to point out that every pipe tool is different. 9 times out of 10, and the most common one is going to be the 3-in-1 tool, which is the companion, which you can pick up for around about £2-3 in the UK. And pipe tools vary in size and shapes and prices, and they go up to hundreds of pounds if that's what you're looking for. But realistically, we just want to make sure we have 3 main tools and 3 main components, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to find that in most pipe tools, and we do with this one that we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and start talking about the main one, the bulky one, and the one which is probably the biggest help when it comes to the actual pipe tool, and that is the tamper. Now, your tamper is going to have a flat edge and a flat top, and is normally in a round shape, and there is a reason for that. When we have our pipe and we pack it full of tobaccos, and this is going to be before we are pre-lit, and we add the layers, and if you don't know how to pack your pipe, make sure you go check out our video on how to pack the pipe properly. So say we've got our tobacco layered up to roughly here 3/4 of the way up the pipe. We go ahead with our first light. After all, it takes 2 lighting sessions to actually get your pipe properly going. Now, a common thing which happens with tobacco when heat is applied to it is it will naturally raise, and it will move around, and it will adjust to the air pockets that are already there and try and fill a bit out and move. We want that tobacco down there and compressed. We don't want it so compressed that the whole pipe becomes plugged, and we'll move on into a little bit later on in the video exactly what you can do if you do that. But you want a nice charred flat top which is touching then the tobaccos underneath it. After all, if we have our nice glowing ember on the top and a thin layer of char, when we place the pipe in our mouth and we draw through the pipe, that glowing ember on the top is then going to keep burning the tobaccos that are underneath. So you want your tobaccos down, and you want that top layer and that top ember touching the tobaccos underneath. Now, the problem if we don't compress the tobaccos down, and when it rises and we keep puffing away on it, is there is going to be air pockets throughout the pipe all the way around, and you'll never know where they are. Say we have your ember burn at the top on top of your char, and then there's a gap underneath it, and then your tobacco's down here. It's not keeping the tobacco at the bottom lit, it's not burning the tobacco at the bottom, and it's just going to constantly go out. And this is what happens to most pipe smokers, is they're not using the tools properly to keep the tobacco where it needs to be and to keep it going. So all we do when the tobacco raise, we get our tampering tool and we simply place it in, and we push down slowly to keep the tobacco flat. And you want to move it around in a small circle like this. Remember, we're not compressing it down, you're not forcing the tobacco down and flatten it, because then you aren't going to be able to get any airflow, but just slowly, little presses, and you have to tamp it down. And what I recommend is, like I said, tobacco will naturally rise, so throughout your smoking session, you could be 10, 15, 20 minutes into your smoking session, the tobacco is going to rise again. Just give it a slight little tap, press it down, and keep it compact. So that's the main reason for the big bulky bit, which is normally found on the outside of the tool. Now we're going to come on to the next bit of the pipe tool, which is normally a real thin piece of metal, almost like a poker. And what that is there to do, if you plug the pipe too much, if there is no airflow, you can simply use this to either poke a few holes in the top of the tobacco, or you can use it to move the tobacco around a little bit. Remember, everything needs to be done slowly, everything needs to be done gently. There's no cramming it in like this, because you're just going to ruin your tobacco, and you're going to basically have to start from the beginning again. But you can use this to create an airflow. Sometimes I've had to do it and I just put a single hole straight for the middle, and that opens it up. Some people like to do with 3, some people like to move the tobacco around a little bit, but that's what that main purpose is of that part of the tool. Now, the next part of the tool will always come in different shapes and sizes. 9 times out of 10, it's almost in the shape of a spoon, and you'll see it have a proper divot and a ridge, almost like a snuff spoon. You will get pipe tools like this where it is more of a flat edge. This is your scraper, and it kind of does what it says on the tin. Once you're finished with your pipe and the tobacco is all smoked, you can use this to gently scrape the tobacco out of the pipe whilst emptying it. You can also have and I'm going to say this now, a gentle scrape around the outside of your pipe. When you're smoking on the inside, you are going to get a thin layer of black, and you want to keep that. So you shouldn't be getting in there and really scraping it around. You don't want to be doing that. Just a little gentle scrape just to make sure all the tobacco is emptied. So that's it, guys. That's a very stripped back, basic way of explaining what each individual thing does on your pipe tool. Obviously, we could go into each individual part and in a lot more detail. When you're first starting out, when you first get your pipe, it is crucial to have a pipe tool. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of hassle. And if you come into problems, like I said, with plugging the tobacco, if you've pressed it down too much, you can then use this tool to create airflow, or it saves you burning your thumbs when you're compacting the tobacco down inside, which what they used to do back in the day, but that's old school and they were hardcore back then. We used the tool. So I hope that's helped, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, enable your notifications. We're trying to grow this channel as quick as we can, and we've already grown it a lot faster than what we thought we would do, and that's because of you amazing people. So make sure you hit that subscribe and enable your notifications. Of course, go follow us on social media. We post every single day over there, from reviews, how-tos, hypes, snuffs, giveaways, events, clearance, you name it, we've got it. And you're going to expand your tobacco knowledge literally just from following us over there. So I'll leave a link in the description below for that as well. So I've been James. Hope you found this video helpful, and welcome to the new era of smoking. I'll see you in future videos.